All right, so you have been inspired to create videos, but now you're asking how? That's where I come in. I do the how. All right, the first thing that we have to talk about, and Susan actually alluded to that, is the idea of knowing where your files are and what you want to select, because that's half the battle, knowing what to get out there. For instance, when I decided that I was going to come here and talk to you guys, I had to decide what I wanted to create in front of you. And one of my favorite things that I do as a wedding photographer is very small, intimate weddings on the edges of cliffs and at the tops of mountains and in deserts and on islands, wherever I can go that has nobody there. Some of my favorite weddings have 5 people. In fact, I shot a wedding once where I had to sign the documents because there weren't enough witnesses, so I was one of the witnesses. And those are some of my absolute favorite weddings I've ever shot. And one of the places that I shoot on a very regular basis, I'm from Arizona, and I shoot at the edge of the Grand Canyon weddings constantly. And they're some of the most beautiful, amazing, breathtaking weddings. And so I thought, why not do a marketing video to teach people how incredible it is to go to the Grand Canyon for their wedding. And if you think about it, there's a lot of brides out there that they find out they're going to get married, right? They've been asked, they're excited, and they're like, what are we going to do for our wedding? And they want to maybe go do a destination or go somewhere else, but then they've got all this planning that they need to do. So that's my bride that I'm looking for. And so I thought, what can I do? What can I show them to inspire them to come to Arizona and use the Grand Canyon as their wedding venue? And oh, by the way, there happens to be a really good photographer that can take your pictures at that wedding. But really, I'm kind of doing a public service announcement for them, right? Okay, so that's my goal today here in front of you, is to create that video. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Lightroom, which is where I catalog all of my images. And I'm going to go into all of my photographs. And you can see that I've already collected a collection full of wedding images at the Grand Canyon. But how I did that is all based in keywords. And so if you are keywording your images as you're working on them throughout your career, then all you need to do is go to all of your photographs and simply type in text, Grand Canyon weddings, and then say, I want Grand Canyon weddings that are 2 stars and above. And look at that, I've got a whole bunch of images to choose from really quickly. Then it's just a matter of going through and grabbing the images that you think are interesting, that would sell whatever concept you want to sell, and grab those and put them into a collection, which I've done here. Okay, so we can clear this search now, and these are the images that I want to work with inside of my wedding video. Now, Lightroom can also have videos inside it, so when I take little video snippets throughout my weddings, if they're worthy of keeping, I put them into my portfolio, and they're just there so that I can scroll through, and I'm going to increase the size of these thumbnails so you can see. As I scroll through, I see, like, here's a shot of me shooting, and you can see there's a little bit of movement in it. See that? Or here's one that's a little kind of a slider showing the sun coming through some clouds. So these types of things could be very useful to me in creating this video. So I'm going to highlight the whole section and I'm going to export it. And the reason I brought you into Lightroom, not only just to make a case for keywording your images so that you can find them really easily, but I also wanted you to see the importance of the settings that you use to export your images. So we're actually going to go to the export dialog box, and I'm going to show you the settings that I'm using when I'm exporting to the Animoto video builder. All right, so I'm going to go in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my videos so you can actually export these videos. You don't want to edit or export the original image, or the original video. You want to export an H.264 at high quality or at max quality. Now, if you do it at max quality, it will take you a long time to export these videos, even though they're little snippets. But you definitely want to export the videos. Now, I've done a little bit of adjustments in Lightroom on the videos themselves, as well as all the photos, obviously. And so that's why we're taking them from Lightroom and exporting them rather than just grabbing the video and copying it over to another drive, because I've actually done a little contrast and saturation work on the video inside of Lightroom, which is something you can do. Okay, so I'm including video, but I'm also going to include the JPEG at a full quality, 100% quality. I don't want to compress it before I send it somewhere else that's going to compress it. So I'm going to send the full quality and let the final compression happen there at Animoto when it's making the video. And then the last thing I need to do is I'm not resizing the image and I'm giving it 72 dpi. That means I'm sending them a nice big file. Now what that means is that I'll be able to, because these video makers, they zoom in a little bit, they move the photo. So if you just create a 2000 pixel, 1920 by 1080, then if it tries to zoom in, it's actually increasing the size of the pixels and you don't have the information. So you want a bigger file than the final video size. So we're sending that to them, and I actually use something called JPEG Mini, which is it's a really great compression method that allows a lossless compression, and it stops before there's any loss, and then it sends it. That way your files aren't huge, especially when you're working, on a limited Wi-Fi or something like that. Okay, so then I would hit export and send those to my desktop, but I've already done that for you so that we don't have to spend that kind of time. Now, one other tip that I'll tell you when you're first looking at your images, just trying to decide what you're using, if you have a song in mind, play that song. Just take up an iTunes playlist or put it on your headphones and listen to the song while you're choosing the images. It's going to help you choose the right images for it. Okay, so I can quit iTunes now because I've already done that as well. All right, so we are inside of the Animoto program itself online, and this is what you see when you go to Animoto. You have all of your different slideshows and videos in the same place. So if I scroll down here, you see some slideshows that were made with the slideshow maker, and if you scroll up here, you see videos that I'm in process of. So anything that says continue editing, I'm in process editing those. I'm working on those. But the other ones, these are completed and actually have been finished and sent out and produced. Okay, so what I want to do is start a new one. I'm going to hit create right up here in the top right hand corner, and when I do that, it's going to give me two options. I can either make a slideshow video or I can make a marketing video, and today we're going to talk about marketing video. So we're going to hit create there, and I'm going to get a bunch of options. Just like with the Animoto slideshow, we have already pre-canned ideas, and the timelines are pretty much there. And quite frankly, all you have to do is just drag a couple things in and hit go, and it will look pretty dang good. But you can also create your own as well. So you see up here at the top of the Animoto slide builder or the video builder, it says start from scratch. That's if you want a blank slate. But let's first just go into something here that's already been pre-made. Now, I trust Sue Bryce. I think she's an amazing photographer and she's got some great stuff. So I'm just going to, I like Sue Bryce. Whatever it is she does, I want to do that. So I'm going to click on that and boom, I'm looking at a copy of what she's made. And so I'm getting some audio here. There's music, there's text. I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that storyboard, and it's going to give me that pre-canned version ready to go, and all I need to do is start dragging and dropping. And so we're going to show you all the different options you have inside of that drag and drop option. But I've already put that together for you here. Let's see. There we are. Okay, so here's some. I've already uploaded some images. Now, before you get to upload anything, you have to upload your images. And uploading images is very simple. All you need to do is go to that hard drive, wherever you exported those images from Lightroom, and you're going to grab images and videos. So if I wanted to upload some images, I would simply grab those images and I would drag them into this little upload area right here. So you see this area right here on the left-hand side of the screen is where I'm uploading media to. I grab my images, and I just drag them there and let go, and it starts uploading them. And now I can work on some other things while it's doing it. Like for instance, I can go to the music section and choose a song. So right now, All the Way is being played, but if I hit change the song, I'm going to be given the opportunity to choose some fairly popular songs, or I can browse the entire library. And in the entire library, I have thousands of songs that are from Triple Scoop Music, which is my absolute favorite place to grab music because it's new, it's fresh, it's really great music, and it's taking care of those amazing artists that are writing the music. So, and you can also upload your own music, but you better make sure that you have permission from the artists themselves to use it, and that you aren't stealing it from the web, or you are not putting Sting's music up on there. I know Sting is rich, but you still can't use his music for free. So you gotta look through here. You can search. There's a lot of different options here. So if you're doing something for sports, you can click on sports and it'll show you options that might work well for sports. You can also come down to the very bottom and type in any kind of a search for an artist or a song title that you already know. And so once you choose that song, then I'm going to exit out of here because I don't necessarily need to choose a different song, but you can choose that song and then it will play here for you. Now, you can also increase and decrease the song volume, but we're not worried about that necessarily. And I want to get you into now the idea of creating stuff. So it's just as simple as this. If I want to add something to this timeline, an entire block, so it's developed into blocks. Each block is a section of something. It's either a photo, or it's a video, or it's a montage of photos, or maybe it is some text only, maybe it's a logo. Everything's into blocks, and we think in those blocks. I'm going to show this, then I'm going to show this, then I'm going to show that. So I have my blocks here, and I'm simply going to add another block. If I click on this Add a Block button, I have the option of creating a photo block, text, video, collage, logo, or maybe there are other things coming in the future. So if I want to create something, I just simply hit text, and then I type in the text that I want to, and we'll just type in text here for now, and hit done. And now I'm going to have a block that has that text on it. And there we go. Okay, so now I have a block that has just text on it. And if I want to then look at what I've created there, I simply hit See More. There we go. Okay, so I just simply hit the See More button, and now I have a full version of what that text is going to look like. I can simply go into the text area. So every time you look at a block, and I think I'm going to refresh this browser, folks, because I'm getting a little weird here. So let me just refresh here. Give me a second. So as I'm refreshing, the important thing to recognize about the video builder itself, when you go into somebody else's, when you go into one of these pre-canned video options, there is content in there to show you what to do. It is not content for you to use. For instance, we don't want to have Sue Bryce in my video. So if I go to hit publish, when Sue Bryce is still in my video, it knows that I haven't changed it out. And it's going to tell me, we can't let you publish this until you replace all the photos and all the video that's in here. All right? So just keep that in mind as you're working. You definitely want to replace those things. And I think our internet is really dog slow at this point. There we go. All right. So now let's try adding that text block again. So I'm going to click on Add a Text Block, and then I'm going to type in text here, and then I'm going to hit Done. There we go. Okay, so see how it added text there? And I can actually see what the text is going to look like. So for instance, in this slideshow right now, when I click on the first block of text here and I hit See More right underneath it, it's going to allow me to look at everything in detail. So I'm going to look at the details of this particular slide. And I can move things around. So if it's text, I can click on the text here, And as I hover below the text, I have the option of moving it around. Do you see how that there's a logo that comes up, or multiple arrows? It's a cross of arrows. If I grab that, I can move the text to different areas on the screen. So I grab it and move it. See how I can move it over here, I can move it over here, I can move it down here, I can put it back in the center. So I have the ability to move the text around based on where my photo is going to be. So usually there's some kind of a point of interest. I also have the ability to choose how long this slide is going to last. So if I look at how long this slide is lasting, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, I just hit plus or minus here and it'll give me a different number of seconds. I could also, if I want, add some kind of vocal to it. I can sing to it if I want. But keep in mind that if I'm going to do a voiceover here, I need to have a good microphone system. Don't use the actual microphone in your computer to do the voiceover because it will sound awful. All right? So go out and get yourself a nice mic and a mic system to kind of connect into there. Okay? I can also add a photo behind the text that I'm putting on here as well. So all of those are options for me. I just simply upload a new one, or if I want, I can simply drag one of these photos in. Now, I can go through this whole thing. So I changed some of the text on this one. I said, would you like to be a photographer or be photographed by Sue Bryce? And then see, I left Sue's in there, so it looks like Sue is taking my picture. But I'm not going to be able to publish this. Or maybe I want to be Sue Bryce or change my name to Sue. And we all do want to do that because Sue is so cool. But in the end, I have to embrace my inner beauty because in the end, I would just be a boy named Sue. So, all right, that's my joke for the day. Okay, so now let's go on to something else. Let's go on to, instead of working on a file that someone else has designed for us, and all I have to do is, like, if I look at here, if I click on this video portion here, I can grab my video and replace it just by grabbing my video and dragging it over the top of that video. And now my video is in the place of the video that Sue had shot, right? And so I can use her as a template and say, okay, well, she's shooting a video here, so I should probably add a video of my own right here. So I'm going to click on this one and drag it on top of there. And then I'm going to have to change this text to my own text, so I can click on this little text button here. And when I click on the text button, it's convenient that I don't have to go into that full editor version because the text drops down right underneath the block. So now I can type in anything I want. So I could say, the Grand Canyon. Let's get rid of Sue Bryce's name, and now my text is my own. And if I hit See More on that option, I can also change the size of the text as well. There we go. So I am here looking at the Grand Canyon. I can then go to the text portion of this. I can change the color of that font, so I can make it orange if I'd like, but I don't want to. So we'll keep it white. And then I can change the size of the text just by simply clicking on this little font size button, and I can increase the size of my text to whatever size I need it to be. And again, I've shown you how to move that around inside the space. So you have the ability to quickly edit all of the text that's in here to whatever fits your needs. And then, of course, I can also grab photos. So here's a photo over here. I want to grab that photo, and I want to drag it on top of her photo here. And do you see what I just did? I just dragged a photo onto a video block, and it magically changed the video block to a photo block because it's intelligent enough to realize, oh, he just wants a photo here. And then we can put text over the top of it or whatever we'd like to do there. You can also go in and grab a photo and drag that photo into a blank area in that block, add a block, and it's going to know that's a photo, and it's going to add that photo in there as a photo block. So we just got to wait for that to happen. There we go. It's happening. I apologize for this. We're streaming a lot of video here, and so my video seems to be taking a second seat. There we go. Okay, so now if I go into here, again, I've got a vertical photo, and on a video I don't really like to have a vertical photo on a video because there's all this empty space. So I can go into this and click on that See More option. So when I click on See More, there we go. So I'm pulling up that new slide, and now I have some options here as well because I can change this to full screen and it'll zoom in, and then I could move it around. So, and remember, I uploaded an entire photo, right? I didn't upload a little one, I uploaded a big one. So this is perfectly doable for me, and I can just grab this and I can reframe her like that so I have a full frame. Or I could crop her to the left, or I could crop her to the right. So I have a lot of options in moving her around the frame. Plus, depending on what kind of style you're in, and everything changes based on the style you choose for those pre-canned things. But if you choose the right style, you also have the ability to do montages. And we'll show you that here in just a second. So let's go now, instead of working on someone else's pre-canned video so that we have like this template, let's work on something from scratch. So if I go to something that I did from, this is what it looks like when I go to Scratch. Now some people are afraid of that because that's empty, right? So if you're afraid of an empty canvas, use one of those templates and start from there and get used to it. In fact, that would be my first advice. If you want to get started on Animoto Videos Builder, then just simply go into Animoto, choose your favorite template, and start putting stuff in there. And you'll see, wow, that was pretty easy to accomplish. Then what you want to do is go into a blank slate and now start adding your own blocks in there. And you can see that I've got a collage block. If I wanted to add a collage block, I can choose how many images go into that collage. And come on. There we go. So I've got the collage block, and you can see that it wants 2 images right now. So I could simply grab 2 images, like for instance, this image and this image were actually shot on the same day. So I'm going to click on that image, and I'm going to drag it in. And then I'm going to go over here and click on this image here and drag it in as well. So I'm going to go back and grab, that one's being loaded right now. And now I'm going to drag that one in. Okay, so now we have 2 images inside of our collage. And if I click on See More, I can actually choose if I want more images in that collage. So I can have up to 16 images in a collage. So if you want to do like a grid of amazing photos that you've shot, you can throw that grid up. Or you can do 3 photos, 3 vertical photos across the screen, or even 4 horizontal photos across the screen. Plus, you can go in here. Now this looks a little weird because it looks like the canyon is continuing. So we're going to change that one out. I'm going to grab this other vertical image, and I'm going to grab it and put it over here. Now we've got, you see that? We've got some interesting stuff going on. Now she's walking to the ceremony. This is the ceremony, so maybe we want to actually swap the 2 of these. So I'm going to grab this one, drag it onto here on this side, and then I'm going to grab, because we want the visual to read left to right. So we're gonna put the slow. By the way, it is not the Animoto slide builder that's doing this. It's just the fact that I'm not connected to the internet very fast. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one and drag it over to here. That way we have the right, it reads correctly. Okay. So, well, there we go. We didn't get that one in there. Come on, grab it. and drag it. There we go. Now it's in there. All right, so you can see that you can play around with your collage as much as you like. And then, of course, you can add text over the top of that. But once you're inside of the from scratch option, you have a lot of opportunity to just start laying out. So let me show you where we went with this slideshow that I wanted to make. So here's a storyboard that was from scratch, and I've got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 slides in there. And the beauty of the system is that when you look up to the top, it says storyboard and it says 56 seconds. So you can determine how long you want this thing to be. Now, if you're going to post it on, say, Instagram, it's got to be under 60 seconds. And if you're following what Vanessa has talked about, then maybe you want it 15 seconds or 30 seconds. So you can start deleting your slides or even changing the time. So you can see that this one's going to play for 4 seconds. This one's going to play for 2 seconds. This one's for 5. So I could start whittling down just by saying, oh, well, I'm going to change this one that's 5. I don't need it to be 5. I could make it 4. So I'm going to get an extra second there. And I can start moving through and choosing different time frames. Now notice that I also have added text to all of these because I want to describe the concept of getting married at the Grand Canyon. What is that like to be on the edge of that cliff with the wind blowing in your hair? And like, what's that like? And I can tell you, it's an amazing, amazing experience. And so I want to somehow show that to people. And so what I've done then is I've put in these words to help people see what that's like. So it starts with your destination wedding, and then it goes into words describing that. So one of the words that I described is romantic. So when I go to this slide that is romantic, I notice something wrong with it, and that is that the romantic word is actually in the center of the photograph because that's where it's going to want to put it from the beginning. So I'm going to click on See More. And when I do, there we go, when I click on See More, it's going to pull up that slide, and I want to remove this over to the left-hand side where it makes more sense. So I'm going to click on that text right there, and I'm going to go right below it so I get those cross-haired arrows. And I'm just going to grab it, and I'm going to drag it over to the left-hand side of the frame so that it is no longer butting up against them, and it gives them a little bit extra space. Once I've done that, I can change the size of it if I'd like. I can also change, by the way, let's close out of here now. If for some reason I don't like the font style that we're using here, I can also go into the design area. So if I click on this little paintbrush design, when I click on it, it gives me different font styles to use throughout my presentation. So I can choose a family of fonts that is used during this entire slideshow. Also, keep in mind that when you're working on your photos, you actually have 2 lines of text. So you have a heading and then text below it. So if I want to, on this Your Destination Wedding, when I click on that front slide, I could actually have, the couple's name and then where they got married or something like that inside of that slide. And each one is different. The top one is a bold, and then the bottom one is a normal text. So if I see how I've got an area here that says Your Destination Wedding, but if I were to type something down here, and I can say the Grand Canyon, see how it creates a smaller version of that, of the text down below. So it's the subheading. There we go. See that? So Your Destination, the Grand Canyon, and then I can change the color independently on each of those different lines, as well as I can change the font on each of those lines, which means that I could also go and click on the font size for the top one and make it small, and I can make the bottom one big. So you're not stuck with a full heading and a small understated subheading. You can go the opposite direction as well. All right. So, as we go through here, I've moved, you can see that I've moved some of my text to the bottom right-hand corner, up to the top left, right-hand corner, the top left, depending on where it made the most amount of sense for the photograph that's being presented. And then at the very end, I have put a logo. So I need a logo at the end because obviously once someone has invested the time of watching this slideshow with me, I need to then get the payoff, which is I need them to see that they can call me for a wedding, so I need to add my logo. Now you can add two different types of logos. Mine is a video logo. You saw Jerry's logo. It comes in, it's a video. Okay, so I've made a video logo because it has a little bit of movement in it. But you can also just add a block that is a logo block, and you would just put your logo in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the bottom, and somewhere in here I have my, there it is, right there. So this is my logo video. I'm going to simply grab that logo video and drag it to the last block, and that's going to be the last thing that I choose. Now I've already chosen my music for this, so I'm all set there. And I've put all of my slides in the way I want them, so I'm all set. And I've typed in different words to help people understand what it's like to be at a Grand Canyon wedding. So all of that done, now what I want to do is publish it. So I'm going to hit preview button, and that preview button is going to allow me to see an initial version of this slideshow. So if I click on preview, and hopefully we'll get, come on, internet. There we go. So it's generating a preview. Now, if you had not replaced some of the pre-canned videos or photos that were in one of your templates, it would tell you right there, I'm sorry, we can't preview this for you because you haven't replaced all of that content yet. So it's generating that preview, and it's going to be a really low-grade version of the video. So when you first see this preview, don't freak out and be like, oh, it's not very good quality, because it's doing it like that, which is pretty amazing to begin with. And once you're done and you approve it, you like it, you've seen it through, you think, oh, that looks pretty good, then you're going to hit produce. Now, in our case right now, here it goes. So it's going to give us a nice version. And we should get audio. So I've put these words on here to help someone understand what I feel and what my clients feel when they're at the Grand Canyon. Okay, did you see what I just did? So I told them what the Grand Canyon's like. I said it's bold, it's beautiful, it's romantic, it's elegant, it's everything that you want your wedding to be. And it's already taken care of because nature did that for you. All you got to do is show up and I'll take care of the photos. Done, right? So that's what I'm telling those brides out there that might be interested in coming to someplace like the Grand Canyon. But at the end, that tagline is the deal. We'll take care of the photos, right? Okay, so now I want to share it. All I got to do is hit the produce button and Animoto goes to work. Now what Animoto is going to be doing is it's actually going to be creating, now you'll notice that I need to give it a title, I give it a date, especially if it's a wedding or something. I produced it, so Jared Platt, and then I'm going to give it a description. And see in the description, I've actually put in there, let's see, let's read it. It says, planning your destination wedding, what will it be? We've been preparing one venue just for you for the past 6 million years. It's all ready. Let us help you document the experience. jaredplatt.com. Okay, so that's where you would go if you want to book me for your wedding. But notice that it's giving you all of your qualities available right there. And when I hit finish, it's going to start producing. And by the way, see that cover image right there? If I click there, I can change and tell it which video area, which video block to use for the cover image. So it is now producing that video. And when it's done producing the video, it's actually going to give you a screen that looks like, hold on, let me find it. Well, here, we'll just go to this. So it's this right here. So I've already produced this beforehand so that I didn't have to wait on the internet to deliver. So I'm clicking on this one, and when I go there, you're going to see the full video ready for me on Animoto. But Animoto is just the creator. They can also send it out places for you. People can go directly to Animoto's player to watch it if you just want to send them a link. But you also have the ability to share that out with all sorts of different options. So for instance, the first thing you can do obviously is once it's once it's completed. So why do we keep getting that? Anyway, so why is this? Sorry guys. We're just having a struggle giving you a feed of this video and working on Animoto at the same time. So down below, when you first create your video, you would see status bar of 4 different videos being created, and it would be right down here below in the status bar. You would see all 4 of those videos being created. You could hit play here. You can also download that session, but you can also share it out to the world through either Vimeo. You can send it to YouTube. You can paste it on Facebook. You can put it on all the social media networks, as well as you can actually copy. Wow, everything's become unresponsive. I've got a bunch of really mean faces looking at me. Can I just take a second and try and get on a different network? Yes? Okay. We'll be right back. Here we go. Look at that. Yay! All right. So we are back on, and I am tethered to my phone here so that we can have a signal. Now you're going to see actual speed of Animoto working on a phone. So it works on a phone. I've worked on planes this way. Okay. So you can see that once I've come into the video itself, so once I say to Animoto, I approve, go ahead and produce this, I'm going to get a video here, and then I'm going to see, right now everything's done. We've already produced the video, so all of the different, you've got 360, you've got 480, you've got 720, and you've got 1080p. All of those have been created. So now I can go ahead and share that. And you can see that I've already shared it with Vimeo. If I click on the Vimeo link here, it's attached to my site, and I hit begin export, it will send it directly. And this is beautiful because I don't have to download the file and then upload the file to Vimeo. It'll just take it from where it is and put it over there, and it takes hardly any time. So it's pretty fast about doing it. I simply did this one that we're going to look at here. I actually sent this to Vimeo right before I took off to come here to LA, and when I landed, I opened up and looked at Vimeo, and it was ready to go. So it was pretty awesome. I can also share it to YouTube in the same way. It's just going to send it over to YouTube, and it's going to take the best available file and send it over to YouTube, so that would be 1080p. Now, what I want to show you is something even cooler than all of that, and that is that I can go in and click on this embed function here. So if I click on embed, and I choose that I want this to be a large video, and I want it to be at 720p, so that's a really decent file for someone watching something on the web. And then I can choose a button for it. So I just want them to go to jaredplatt.com, and I have let us help right there. All I have to do is highlight this little area here and hit copy. Then I'm going to go to my actual website. So I'm in the back end of my website, and I'm going to go down to a text block area where I want to add it. I just simply go in and edit that text block, and I'm going to go and put that code right in here. Now, I've already put the code in there, so we don't have to worry about it, because then when you go to my website, this is what you get. So that's the page. If someone comes to jaredplatt.com/Grand Canyon Weddings, you'll see this beautiful photo up here, and then as you scroll down, there's the video, ready to go. So now, if I hit play on that, it already starts. Now, this is the one we built earlier, but you can see that it's ready to go and it's on its way. Okay? So now, here's the beautiful thing about embedding something into your website from Animoto. Let's say that you want to constantly change this piece of video. You want to put different dates on it, different text on it, things like that. Then all you need to do is come back to your video. So we would go back to this same video here, and we would go through and edit that video, change the text, republish it. As soon as you republish it, guess what's on your website? The new republished version, because you replaced this one. So that happens by going to, when you're on your website on Animoto, and I'll show you where that is really quickly. So inside of Animoto, when you're looking at your videos, you can either continue to edit something, or you can just edit it, or if you're in the main video area where you see all your videos, you can also click on this little gearbox and you can copy something that you've been working on. So you can make multiple versions. But if you go into one that's already produced, you'll see that you can either copy it or edit it. And if you edit it, then anywhere you've embedded it is also going to change for you. So that's really fantastic. And then the last way that you can share your images is through social media. So for instance, on Facebook. Now I want to share this right now. So I'm going to click on my Facebook. It's going to open up a dialog box where I'm going to enter into Facebook basically, and I'm going to type this in. Now I don't want to spend too much time typing about it, so I'm going to just say destination weddings are amazing at the Grand Canyon. And then I can put this on my page. So if you want to see this, I'm going to hit post, and you're going to see it out there at facebook.com/JaredPlattLive, and that's where you'll see it. So I'm going to hit post, and now it has just sent it over to Facebook, and so Facebook is receiving that. I can go to my Facebook page and look for it and make sure I'm on my live page and refresh, and we will see, here comes the Animoto video coming in right soon. Anyway, just wait for it, it'll be there. So it's posting to Animoto right now. I mean, it's posting from Animoto to my Facebook page, and I'm all set to go. Now, I may want to go into Facebook after that and share it out to different places and put it, boost the post or make it into an ad or something like that, but it'll literally just share it over to Facebook. All right? Now, anywhere you share, when you share something out, it's taking the video and it's moving it over there. The only time that you can edit in Animoto and have it change on wherever you've posted it is if you embed it. Embedded things change when you change your Animoto video. Otherwise, you have to share it out again and create a new version of it. All right? So that's the process of making Animoto video projects. And I love this producer because I have the ability to go in and create an amazing video production for someone, and then I can alter that and change it again and again and again. And the whole concept of sending it to a venue is great because you can just, all you got to do is make one, and then everything else is done, and just go in and drop new photos and new videos and new text for that new venue, and hit publish again, and do it again, and do it again. So to me, the most important thing besides the beauty of the work and what you show the world is the efficiency with which you get it done. Because if you can't do it efficiently, you'll never do it. And that's why a product like Animoto, both for slideshows and for video projects, is really critical because I don't have that kind of time to sit around and fuss with some kind of, I don't have the time to work on Premiere. I'm a photographer, you guys are photographers, but we need to get our work out there, and that's why this is such a beautiful thing to have in our toolkit.